friends, it's Alexis, and welcome to August's episode of TBR POP. I am very excited to see what we will be reading for the month of August and to tell you about the readathon I'm participating in. But first, we have to talk about July. And unfortunately, July was such a disappointing month. I did not finish the TBR. I actually only read 2 out of the 5 books that were on my official TBR. I'm blaming the Count of Monte Cristo. Yes, it is my fault because I shouldn't have even been reading that book still. I should have finished it in June. But that book put me into a major reading slump. After Summerween ended, I didn't read anything except for The Count of Monte Cristo, and I didn't feel like reading because I wasn't enjoying that book. So I am happy to say she is done. She is in the past. We never have to read another page of it again. But unfortunately, that means we do need to pick a punishment for failing the July TBR. Let's see what our punishment is going to be. Just one. We don't need more than one. Okay. And we got failed TBR book. Okay, this is actually one of the best ones we could have gotten. This just means that one of the books I did not finish last month have to go on to this TBR, which is easy because I still want to read all of those books. And I was already planning on trying to read them this month along with the official TBR. So this is one of the best ones we could have gotten. I could really count any of the 3 as fitting this failed TBR prompt, but I think just for tracking purposes and knowing going into September that this book has to be finished to get a reward, I'm gonna go with The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. This is one that I did start. I'm only like a chapter in, but like I said, I want to read all of them anyways. And this is the one that will actually fit onto a readathon prompt. So win-win for me. But I guess this is a good time to tell you about the readathon I will be participating in from August 6th to the 13th. I will be joining the Full Moon Readathon hosted by Jan Agaton. I have done this every single year she has hosted. I think this is the 3rd or 4th year, and it's a super fun readathon. It is not competitive. It's not team-based. It's very go at your own pace, and you can make it as challenging or not as you want. Of course, it's me, and I'm an overachiever. So in this readathon, you have 4 characters. You read book prompts to try and collect. There are 2 reading prompts and then 1 self-care activity prompt, which we love. It's like getting a little treat for finishing your book. This year it is a cryptid theme, so we are trying to collect the characters Mothman, the Kraken, the Jersey Devil, and the Yeti. Just like I usually do, I am going to try and double up on my TBR prompts with the readathon prompts. So if a book comes up that I can fit into both, I will tell you about it at that time, which brings me to The Amalfi Curse. So this one is perfect, and it's actually going to help me to complete both prompts for the Kraken because this does have some mystery elements. It is about a woman trying to find a shipwreck where there is said to be lost treasure, and obviously there is water on the cover. But now that that's all out of the way, let's play TBR Pop. Okay, throw number 1. I think we're gonna take the easy way out this month and once again go for the 2 remaining horror bingos. I would love to complete this challenge, and since I only have 2 boxes left, it makes sense to go for them. So let's start this thing off by going for the red one in the middle of the board. I'm gonna count that. It looks like it's on the edge. If you can see, it did cut through the edge, and if this was a real balloon, that would have popped it. So we're counting it. Balloon number 1 is going to be to read a horror book recommended to you. I love the way that this worked out, that I have to read a horror book that was recommended to me, and the book I'm picking was recommended by none other than the Jan Agaton that I will be reading during her readathon. It's like it was meant to be, and that book, of course, is going to be A History of Fear by Luc Dumas. This is actually going to be my 2nd book by this author. I've had this for a while, but I ended up getting the audio from my library of Nothing Tastes as Good, his newer release, and I wasn't gonna pass it up. It was a really long wait if I let my hold lapse. So I listened to that one first, loved it. And I know this is one of Jan's favorite books. I put it on my TBR because of her. She actually gifted it to me for when I got engaged last October. So it's the perfect time to finally read this one. This is about Grayson Hale, the most infamous murderer in Scotland, claimed the devil made him slaughter his classmate. When Grayson is found hanged in his prison cell, officers uncover a handwritten manuscript that might answer the question on everyone's mind. Was he a lunatic, or had he been telling the truth all along? Unnervingly, Grayson doesn't fit the bill of the killer. He's a young atheist, newly enrolled at the University of Edinburgh. In need of cash, he agrees to ghostwrite a book for a mysterious stranger, never expecting the project to reawake his Satan phobia, a condition that causes him to believe that the devil is after him. As he struggles to disentangle fact from fear, Grayson's world is turned upside down after events force him to confront his growing suspicion that his employer is the one he has feared all this time. Isn't it so nice when you rediscover books that have been on your TBR for literal years? Like, why haven't I read this yet? I am planning to read this for Full Moon Readathon. Everything that I tell you in this video may change. It kind of just depends on how I'm feeling next week when we start reading. This one could also count for the Kraken prompt to read a book with a mystery, because we're trying to uncover if he was truly possessed by the devil. Or it could fit one of the Yeti prompts to read a book between 200 and 400 pages, because this is 352 pages. So perfect. Throw number 2, we're going to go for the last remaining horror bingo balloon in the top right corner. I'm going to use my green dart for luck. Can we do it? Oh my God, that was perfect. So prompt number 2 is going to be a horror book picked by chance. This will be fun. You guys know I love randomizing my reads, so this is a super fun one. I looked through my shelves and I picked out 4 horror books that I really want to read, and they fit some Full Moon Readathon prompts, and I threw them into a spinner wheel, and now we'll let the wheel decide, what are we reading? This is probably the one I wanted to win least, but I do want to read it. I really want to read it. So, of course, our winner was Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker, and there's a reason I have the dust jacket off. 1, because I actually started this in June and didn't get very far and never put the dust jacket on. But 2, because one of the Full Moon Readathon prompts is to read a book with foiling on the cover or pages for the Mothman character. So this is going to fit that prompt. Again, probably the one I was least looking forward to, and only because the other 3 books were more summer, in the woods, creepy vibes. This, I still believe, is going to be incredible. I absolutely loved Kylie Lee Baker's last horror book, Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang. I just haven't exactly been in the mood to go back to this one, but the wheel has spoken. This is what we're going to be reading. Let's see if I can remember the synopsis, because I don't have the dust jacket, but this one is a dual timeline. It takes place in present day and then back in like samurai times, Japan. And in present day, we are following a college student who woke up covered in blood and has no memory of killing his roommate. So he ends up fleeing to Japan to live with his father, who just moved into this new house that is haunted by this old samurai. Okay, throw number 3. Now that the horror bingo balloons are off the board, I'm like struck by decision paralysis, because there are so many different colors I could go for. I think I'm feeling the dark blue on the left. Let's see if that's a good one. So close. Yes. Title font in a dark color. Okay, that shouldn't be too hard to find. Okay, but tell me why this one was so hard to come up with a book for. I did not realize that all of the books I own have white text on the cover. Who would have known? But I did it. I found a book with black text, and it's highly anticipated. I just picked it up in April when I met this author at BookCon, and that is I Love You, Don't Die by Jade Song. Jade Song wrote one of my favorite horror books ever called Chlorine, and while this one isn't straight up horror, I just know I'm going to love it. This one is a little bit different. It gives me more literary fiction vibes. It is about a woman who is obsessed with death. She actually works at a funeral parlor in Chinatown. She surrounds herself with death even in her home. She has an ever-growing collection of Ziza. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but these are paper cranes decorations meant to be burned for the dead. They adorn the walls of her apartment. Yet though living in Manhattan and working her dream job is all she's ever wanted, she still struggles to have meaningful connections or find any meaning in life at all. Too often, she spends the day in bed, rarely drawn out from time to time by her best and only friend Jen. That changes when a dating app leads her into a throuple with an artist and a labor organizer who offer exactly the kind of love she needs. For some time it's perfect, but no one understands better than Vicky that all things must end. As doubt grows over the love in her life, her friendship with Jen, and her professional success, the oddly comforting abstraction of death starts becoming something else altogether. With everything beginning to feel hollow and temporary, Vicky must decide how to keep moving forward, to try to hold on to what she has, or to once again do what she does best, destroy. Well, clearly this sounds like a super upbeat, fun summertime read. This one I could not match up to a full moon readathon prompt, so I'm just going to read it later on in the month. Okay, prompt number 4. I'm sort of feeling the single dark purple on the right side of the board. Can we hit it, or am I gonna miss and hit my wall? Let's see. Oh, that was close. Yes. And we got new to your TBR. Always a good one. It's always the best when this prompt comes up because of course I want to read my most recent purchases. And for this one, I've decided to go with a book that I'm actually planning to buddy read with one of my friends this month, and that is Headlights by CJ Lead. I am so excited for this one. I have been dying to pick this up, but my friend doesn't have her copy yet. So finally, we decided August is the month it's happening. Her book is en route. Not only is this book perfect for this prompt because it just came out this year a few months ago, but it's going to fit for, I think, 2 of the full moon readathon prompts. This will work for the Jersey Devil prompt to read a book set in the US because this takes place in the frozen wilderness of Colorado, and the Yeti prompt to read a book with winter vibes. See how I did that? I read the synopsis for the first time during my summer TBR video, and I'm still not over it. Like, this book, guys, it's going to be so gross, but so good. This one is all about Special Agent Daniel Stansfield. He's ready for a change. Burnt out and defeated by his job, it's his last day with the FBI. But before he can turn in his badge, he's summoned back to Denver, the city he ran from 4 years ago, with a chilling message. It's happening again. Seemingly innocent people are waking up on the side of the highway with no memory of how they got there. They are wearing the skin of victims they've allegedly never met. And the worst part, they all share one haunting detail. There is a strand of hair tied around their tongues. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have a big thing with hair in food, hair in my mouth. Ugh, it just immediately grosses me out. So perfect. Now Daniel is pulled back into the gruesome cycle, and every clue leads him deeper into the shadows of his own past. He will have to confront the ghosts of his traumatic childhood and face what's been hunting him all along before he and the people he loves becomes the next victim. I'm so excited for CJ Lead to traumatize me again. She is truly one of my favorite horror authors of all time. Her other 2 books, Mayfly and American Rapture, were both 5 stars, so I'm really hoping she can do it again. All right, final throw, final balloon. Let's make it a good one. I'm kind of feeling the left side of the board. I don't know if I want to go for the orange, maybe a light blue. There's a lot of pink. I am just going to throw. It's probably going to hit somewhere in the middle. All right, we are going for dark pink. And prompt number 5 is going to be flowers on the cover. Okay, that might be the most difficult yet, but I definitely have something that'll work with this. Actually, this is a good one. At first, when this one came up, I was really worried because I could not think of a single horror book with flowers on it. But then I remembered I don't have to read only horror. There is more of the month left. Also, you don't have to read horror for the full moon readathon. I just want to read horror because I'm going to be sleeping in the woods those nights. But anyways, so for reading a book with flowers on the cover, I'm going to go back to my summer TBR, and I'm going to finally pick up Shark Heart by Emily Hayback. This one is another that's been on my TBR forever. Every single summer I say this is finally the year I read it, and then the summer comes and goes and it's still sitting on my shelves, but not anymore. 2026 is the year of the Shark. This one, if you haven't heard about it, is actually a romance. It's all about a man who slowly turns into a shark. It says, for Lewis and Wren, their first year of marriage is also their last. A few weeks after their wedding, Lewis receives a rare diagnosis. He will retain most of his consciousness, memories, and intellect, but his physical body will gradually turn into a great white shark. As Lewis develops the features and impulses of one of the most predatory creatures in the ocean, his complicated artist heart struggles to make peace with his unfulfilled dreams. At first, Wren internally resists her husband's fate. Is there a way for them to be together after Lewis's changes? Then, a glimpse of his developing carnivorous nature activates long-repressed memories for Wren, whose story alternates between her childhood living on a houseboat in Oklahoma, her time with a college ex-girlfriend, and her unusual friendship with a woman pregnant with twin birds. I forgot about that. Woven throughout this bold novel is the story of Wren's mother, Angela, who became pregnant with Wren at 15 in an abusive relationship amid her parents' crumbling marriage. In the present, all of Wren's grief eventually collides, and she is forced to make an impossible choice. This one is going to be heavy, but I know everybody loves it, so I'm okay with getting my heart broken. I am so excited for this one. I don't believe this one fits any of the full Moon Readathon prompts unless this somehow involves sports. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. Let me know, because I think that is the one full Moon Readathon prompt that I don't have a choice for. Speaking of, I think we did pretty good. I really came up with a book for every single prompt except for the sports one. So please let me know. That will be the question of the video. Recommend me a book involving sport. It doesn't have to be a sports romance, just sports are some sort of element in it. Right now, I am tentatively planning on maybe reading a Mariana Zapata book because I read All Roads Lead Here a few years ago, one of my favorite romances of all time, and I've never read anything else by her, and I know she has at least 3 sports romances. So let me know. Should I read one of these? Should I read one of your favorite sporty books? Help. You know what? That is not too bad of a stack. I think we can do it. I think I'm going to get, oh no. Well, that was embarrassing. Anyways, like I was saying, I think I am back in the reading mood now that I've tackled the monster that is the Count of Monte Cristo. So let's do it. It's going to be a great August. If you made it this far and would like to let me know you were here, our emoji of the video is going to be the shark. But as always, friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope you read a good book today, and I will see you soon in my next one. Bye.